All right, episode 3, let's go.
By far, one of my biggest challenges in past relationships was really being able to open up.
I did not expect him to be the guy who had trouble opening up, so I'm curious if that ends up being relevant. Sometimes guys in the pods are like able to do that, and then they get out into reality and they slip right back into their old habits, and it's just like they were able to do it because they couldn't, like it didn't feel real or something. Oh my god, they haven't kissed yet. I'm concerned, but they seem happy. They're happy and excited, but they're not kissing. This is not a big romantic meeting. This is like a... is it? Okay. Oh, this is the cutest meeting of all of the meetings in the whole series, any country. I'm gonna completely change my mind about that if they don't kiss and get awkward, though. And I mean, like, full-on make out, right? Like...
What do we do? Do we sit down?
Yeah, let's sit down.
Oh my god!
Where's the kiss? What's going on? It doesn't even seem like one of them is, like, more into the other. Maybe he's more uncomfortable than she is, but they both seem happy, so what the fuck is going on? The reason I'm concerned about the kiss is because this is usually... I don't know that it's indicative of how it's gonna go, but if they don't kiss at all, it usually does not go anywhere. And if they have, like, a mediocre kiss, I don't know. I should try to run some stats on this.
I look like Tarzan.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
They're also, like, sitting, like, they're angled towards each other, not to be the body language analyst, but, like, they're, like, kind of like this. They're not like this. And I feel like they should be like this if they're, like, into each other.
Wait, I think there's champagne in there.
Is there?
Yeah, they might need that. They seem like they're freaking out. Oh, I like his shoes. That's a good look. They both got a good look on. Okay, I mean, she likes touching. That's good. Yeah, I mean, maybe he's freaking out. I can't tell if they're, like, feeding off of each other, where one person, like, they're in the goofy mode, and, like, they're waiting for the other person to shift or something. And if that's what's happening, I don't know who's to blame, but I feel like he's the one who was, like, in the interview, he seemed really nervous and uncomfortable.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I know.
Oh my god.
Can I, like, kiss you?
Fucking finally! Okay, yeah, she's like, do you want to kiss me? Because I feel like it wasn't clear, and maybe she was waiting for him to take the initiative. Thank fucking God.
Oh my god.
Okay, I mean, that was cute. That was very chaste, but he looked very happy. That was a solid pecking situation. Ooh, and she keeps grabbing him. Okay, they're touching.
Best first kiss, honestly, I've ever had.
That's surprising, because it was very short and peckish, but I'm glad that they're just, like, happy and flustered, and that's apparently why things are so chaste. I don't know. This is the first time I can remember hearing a good song on Love is Blind. I don't know if it's, like, they have a bigger budget now, and they can fucking pay for 80s songs. Like, what is this, Blondie or some shit? I should look this up. Fuck yeah, Belinda Carlisle, let's fucking go. If Monica and Joey don't work out, I'm gonna be so sad. I'm deeply invested.
The more I've seen love happen for everyone around me, thoughts have crossed my mind of, like, maybe my person doesn't exist.
I hate that shit. There's so many people on the fucking planet. That's bullshit.
I played Xbox a lot.
Oh,
with
gamer
my
girl?
sister Lisa. Yeah, I was a gamer girl.
Oh my
And
turn me on.
I played.
I was gonna say, you can hear the boner. I was wondering if she was gonna say Halo. Fuck yeah, dude.
Did you ever play Halo?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so when it was my 8th birthday.
Wow, now I'm wondering, oh, Jesus Christ, did she say 8th birthday? How old is she? Halo didn't even come out till I was in high school, I think. Or like, yeah? I'm unprofessional. Eating chocolate on the job.
I felt like an energy shift yesterday. Is he tired, or like has the connection bit changed for him?
I understand why she's trying to clarify this, but I feel like it's a turnoff. At least if a guy's not that into you, which if he were that into you, you wouldn't be in this situation in the first place, so I don't expect it to go over well.
I told you I feel like you're not even real. You're just a computer voice on the other side of the wall here.
Yeah.
Just saying what I am thinking.
It would be really funny if they did a season of Love is Blind where, like, one person on each, like, team was, like, just an LLM or something, you know? Just, like, an AI voice talking to them. Honestly, might be. I don't know if that's, like, more or less psychotic than the thing that they currently do, which is, like, try to find emotionally unstable people who just want to be on TV and, like, pepper a few of them in there and hope that somebody walks into the trap. But again, bro, if you feel like this about her, why are you interacting with Madison that way?
That's where the aliens come in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't ever have anyone to talk to about these things.
Okay, I mean, that's cute, but that's like a friend, Mason. You need a friend. Whatever, you can bond over anything. I'm just not getting clear cues about this being a good... I think if they weren't in a love triangle, I don't know, they don't even really get into, like, the deep shit, though, do they? I feel like they haven't had very emotional conversations that we've seen. It's not just the fact that they're in, like, he's in these interlocking love triangle situations.
It was incredible.
Really?
Really good.
Was he your top person?
Nope.
Motherfucker! Well, that sucks. Yeah, piece of shit. I hate this shit. Don't do this to people. This is not nice. This is not nice behavior. You're on television.
What do you feel like you need to see from one to be like, that clinches it?
I need them to be like, you're my girl.
I think that's very common. I mean, especially for women. I feel like we haven't seen this happen so much with dudes. Like, that's usually the thing that clinches it for them, I don't think, is whether the girl is just like, you're my man. But this definitely is common for women. They want to know that that you give a shit, and they want you to initiate. So, checks out. Interesting, though. I don't like it.
I could see myself proposing to you. I haven't been in love in a long time. So I kind of don't really know what that feels like.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you don't know what that feels like? Then why are you talking about maybe proposing to this woman? What do you think is... What?
Like, at first, like, when I think teacher, like, okay, she's kind of nerdy, not typically who I'd go for right away.
It's not like she's a freaking longshoreman. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Has he only dated models? Is that what it is?
But with Molly,
I feel like she's kind of the type I would go after usually. She was a dancer, so...
All I'm hearing is that he thinks Molly is probably hotter than Lauren.
Well, it doesn't scare me, actually, because I'm not talking to anyone else, so...
You're not?
No, no pressure. I'm just
I know.
very decisive.
I think it's cool that she told him that he's the only one she's seeing right now. I feel like people are not confident enough to do that, even though it's like they think that it puts them at a disadvantage, but you only think it's putting you at some kind of disadvantage if you're thinking about this as some kind of competition that you're engaging with the other women or the other men in your group, you know? And it's like, you're not in a competition. Like, you could just go home. You're just trying to find out if the other person could be your spouse. Like, none of the other shit matters, except for these people who are too dumb to figure that out. Sorry, I'm just mad about all these stupid fucking love triangles. It's just gonna be so sad for everyone, or at least, like, half the people involved, right?
We aren't super emotional people about, like, all these, like, dramatic emotions that people are having. Like, we just want to have fun together.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And there's
You just want to have fun together? That's the goal? You're supposed to be getting married, bro! How do you have, like, a super marriage contract where they're just, like, legally not allowed to get divorced, or they have to pay a shit ton of money unless they can prove that somebody was, like, abusive, so that they fucking take these marriages seriously? Though I think a lot of the time they're like, whatever, I can say no at the altar. I just get a free trip to Cabo and, like, some hot dates or whatever.
that's why I'm loving this
Yeah.
so much, because, like, it freed up my mind to be like, that's okay to want what I want.
Yeah.
Because there are people out there that want that too.
That's actually kind of depressing if he felt before like it wasn't okay to want what he wants. I mean, it sounds like what he wants is not marriage, which I keep roasting him for, but, like, it's important to be able to be honest about this stuff with yourself and the people you're trying to date.
They even add it into like dating apps. Like, what's your political status?
Yeah.
And it's like, why does that matter? Just because we have different political views, we can't love each other?
Holy based? I like Dave now. What the fuck? And Molly, I mean, she's just been sort of nodding and smiling, but it sounds like maybe she agrees with this. That's really good. I do find it's a lot easier to be in a relationship with somebody that's like closer to the same page as you on these things. But I think a lot of it is like, if you both hold your beliefs loosely, then you're basically on the same page. Like, you can have different opinions about things.
We are the freaking same.
I know. It's actually kind of scary.
It is. We are literally the same.
I mean, okay, I think they're pointing at something good and correct, which is that they seem to be on the same pages, with a lot of things. They seem to like each other a lot. They've got a really good dynamic. I keep saying they bring out the best in each other. This has been really nice to see, because Dave, I feel like, is completely insufferable, except when he's talking to Molly, and then he's pretty great. I don't want to say it's a red flag to say we're the same person is a thing you hear a lot, but I think you often end up in these awkward situations after they say that, where once they start noticing the ways in which they're different, it becomes more upsetting to them than it is when they recognize right out that they're not necessarily that similar.
He's pulling back his energy, and there's nothing I can really do about it. I think it made me realize my feelings for him.
Then stop flirting with Mason. Just like, imagine they're gonna be watching the show. Like, if you do end up with Alex, it's gonna suck for him to watch this and see that you were, like, talking about your, like, micro mini skirts and shit with some other dude when he's, like, not really comfortable talking about sex and he's trying to take things slow, and you told him that you like to take things slow. Like, it's gonna fucking suck. I don't know, maybe people just forget that they're being recorded.
But Mason always says all the right things.
What? I mean, yes, Mason does say all the right things. We've seen that, but, like, what the fuck are you doing, woman? Pick one. Why are you giving the boy a token of your affections when you've got another guy in the wings? Like, what are you doing? I feel like often we see the guys doing this. Maybe I'm just harsher on the guys on this show, because I feel like I've seen, with some exceptions, a lot of the damage seems to be done by the dudes. But
Madison and Mason.
Madison and Mason.
How is this all just happening so fast?
Yeah.
Like, I've never even touched you.
Yeah.
bro, I cannot imagine giving my, like, beloved stuffed animal that I sleep with to a guy and then going and having this conversation with a different guy, like, the next day? The same day? We don't know. What the fuck?
I really love talking to you.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite part of every day.
Oh my gosh.
Woman, why are you giving the other guy the barely? You're killing me. He's gonna be so fucking devastated. Jesus.
I never want to, like, put pressure on you. But at the same time, like, I wouldn't mind just focusing on you.
I see, yeah. She's trying to get the admission of interest, or like him to say what she wanted to hear before, which was like, you're my girl, basically. I don't know. I feel like it is. Yeah, okay, the thing I don't like is that it's sort of like, I'm seeing two guys, I'm like hedging my bets or something, but I'm not willing to go all in on one until he tells me that I should or something. That's just like games, dude. Don't, no.
It's just you and me, baby.
Really?
You and me, Mads.
I love to hear that.
Okay, but she hasn't confirmed that it is just them, so I wonder if she's canceling her date with Mason, or like gonna show up and tell him that it's off.
I would just completely disassociate from my own body.
Is there anything I could do in that situation?
There's nothing really that, like, anyone can honestly do. I can handle things.
I'm skeptical of that. It seems very useful if you have sort of odd emotional, physical problems to be able to tell people how they can help you, especially if they're like actually thinking to ask, because honestly, I don't know that it's so natural for a lot of people to do that in the first place, especially guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing everything that I can in my resourced way to work through that.
Some of this feels also like, when you've got like mental or physical problems, you don't want this to be a barrier to dating. You don't want to be a burden on a potential partner, but you're gonna be, and like they're gonna have to be okay with it. Like, you don't want to go into a relationship and be like, I've got all these problems, so don't worry, I'm low maintenance. My problems are my problems. I'm not gonna like, you're not gonna have to deal with it. Because it's like, no, they are gonna have to deal with it. And you want them to be willing and able to try to help with it. If they are expecting you to be low maintenance and you're not, they're going to be upset. But like if they're expecting you to be low maintenance and the only reason you're low maintenance is because you're like dealing with all your shit on your own when you shouldn't be, that's not going to be good either.
Do you think that that would affect a relationship?
In what way?
I mean, I think honestly what she needs is somebody who's going to be like, all right, well, fuck you, I'm going to help anyway, kind of. But like, sometimes people are not open to this, right? Like, I feel like with some of this stuff, things that people do to help can make things worse or whatever, you know, it's like if you're not giving them the freaking user's manual, they might not know what to do. But if you're somebody who's trying really hard to be low maintenance, you probably need somebody who's gonna just like override that and be like, no, you don't get to be low maintenance. That's not how relationships work.
For the most part, like, I'm fine with it, I think. It's just, it's hard because I don't really know, right? It's just like an unknown.
I mean, there's lots of unknowns, you know.
Yeah,
Can always be really sure about anything.
Yeah, I feel like she's kind of trying to maximize the odds that he picks her while still being sort of the minimum amount of honest that you need to be to not feel bad about yourself for like getting into something with somebody. Or, I don't know, it's like, I think she wanted a different answer, obviously. But I feel like trying really hard to make sure he knows it's not his problem is not actually a good move for either of them. This feels like the feminine equivalent of the thing where a lot of guys, at least guys on the internet, are like, I don't tell my wife my problems because then she'll lose respect for me, and also my problems still won't get solved. And it's like, if you're getting married to somebody, you're gonna have to deal with each other's problems.
At the end of the day, I think it just comes down to trust. How much can you trust this connection? If we are moving.
Yeah, but like you're waiting for a proposal here. I feel like this is all fine if you're dating and you're gonna take it a little slow or whatever, get to know each other, but like, this is a marriage show.
Your natural inclination seems to be very fearful.
Like, I'm thinking about a huge decision, right?
Yeah, I do feel like he's taking this a lot more seriously than she is, honestly. I don't think I don't know. I understand that she wants to be unconditionally loved, etc. or whatever, right? This is a big gamble for somebody to make for marriage. Also, the fact that she talked before about being avoidant and she doesn't want her problems to become his problems, so she's just going to take care of it herself with no help from him. Like, this sounds to me like she hasn't sorted out the avoidance thing. And I hope that he's clocking it. I mean, he seems concerned, so that's good.
I definitely am not scared of it.
Well, thanks for clarifying that. Because, yeah, sometimes it feels like that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she got the reassurance that she was looking for. She sort of got out of him that... I mean, I think she's the only girl that he's seeing, as far as we can tell, so she kind of got out of him that, like, he has picked her of the women that there. She's not getting the reassurance from him that she wants, that she's the girl for him on the planet. I feel like it's basically certain that she's going to go into the pod with Mason and start flirting with him now. Because she didn't get the certainty that she wanted. Even though she just sort of implied to Alex that he was going to be the only guy she's seeing. Okay, I'm cold.
Okay, if you go on the getaway, no matter who it's with, do you plan on having sex there?
Ooh.
He's 100% trying to have sex on the getaway. Why is that a question?
I would definitely plan on having sex there.
You would.
What's your fantasy? Do you have like a fantasy?
I'm too young to watch this show.
I like role playing.
Like, are we doing Dr. Nurse or are we?
No, Dungeons and Dragons, baby.
Why doesn't he ever say missing back? Makes sense.
Oh, physical pain. When I was a child, there was a book that was really popular called He's Just Not That Into You, and I feel like she needs a copy of this book. I feel real bad for her. This is a relatable experience.
Oh, I'm gonna be engaged or heartbreaking flying home. Like,
Ooh, unfortunately, I don't know whether to bet on heartbroken or engaged. honestly, because I feel like right now it looks like Madison is about had it with Alex. If Mason pulls out the big guns and like tells Madison that he's really into her, and I don't know, it could go either way still. It seems like the way all of this goes just fully depends on what Mason decides to do, and that's kind of fucked up because he seems super indecisive and like he has no idea what he wants.
Have you primarily been broken up with or break up with people?
Oh my God, I have never broken up with anyone.
Oh, interesting, actually. I think I was actually maybe going to guess that he had broken up with people because it feels like he's kind of likes to sow his oats, honestly. But also, I could see him not breaking up with people because he seems kind of indecisive and like he'll just do whatever. I'm just being savage to this guy with very little reason. I do think that this is very common for men, though. Usually, they're pretty comfortable in a relationship. I think for most guys, things have to be pretty bad for them to pull the trigger on a breakup. Women are usually the ones who are thinking a little more long-term and seriously about it, I guess. Or I also think that guys are, to be more charitable to guys for a second, I think that they expect less. They don't expect people to give a shit about them. So they're willing to put up with a subpar relationship because whatever they get is better than what they were expecting.
I just don't really like giving up. I want to do everything I can to make it work. And I feel like there's been a lot of times where I've been given up on.
That's a very interesting answer. I guess my follow-up question would be, why do you think that they gave up on you? Like, what is it that, yeah, like, how did that happen? It's nice. It's good that he doesn't like giving up. But this could go kind of two ways. Either it's like he's really trying hard to work out whatever problems they have and he's dating people who are just not that serious or not that into him or, you know, just can't deal with it. Or he just kind of fails to see the magnitude of the problem and isn't actually willing to do that much, you know? There's a lot of times people will be like, oh yeah, I'm totally working on it, and like not actually be like making any progress or be that invested in solving the problem.
It's usually from them falling in love with somebody else.
Oh, interesting. Okay. If women are falling in love with somebody else, I think this is often, I don't want to like blame the guy for it. I'm just trying to think about like under what circumstances does this happen? And my best guess is that this tends to happen when there's a problem with the relationship and the guy, for whatever reason, doesn't want to deal with it or like doesn't realize how important it is. I think a lot of the time, like, women aren't clear enough about what the issue is. The guy is like, okay, so everything's fine actually, and then the girl is just sort of tolerating stuff and then develops feelings for somebody out of nowhere. Maybe I'm just projecting my own experiences, but this is my impression of how this goes typically. Whereas I think often when men develop feelings for somebody else, it's because they're feeling too pressured in their relationship. When women start putting a lot of pressure on men and the men feel like they can't meet their expectations and they feel like their partner's judging them, then I think that's when they're more prone to turn to other people for affection. I guess in both cases, it's sort of like they feel like they're not getting the affection they need in the relationship. So I don't want to blame this guy for it, but typically if there's a pattern that you're experiencing, there's something that you're doing that is like contributing to this, even if it's not your fault. There might be something you're doing to somewhat predictably produce these results.
It makes me kind of scared to like fall for someone again.
All right, here's a super charitable interpretation, which I don't know is necessarily correct, but maybe he just enjoys this early process of dating where the stakes are pretty low and he can have fun and all of that, because the later part of dating is where things get iffy and bad for him. Yeah, like if he just like commits to somebody, then now he exposes himself to the apparent likelihood that she's going to go for somebody else. I feel like he hasn't been getting that deep with anybody. And he doesn't seem that serious about these things. And maybe it's because he's afraid to be serious, but it doesn't seem like he's addressing these problems so far.
Whenever I'm feeling heartbroken, it sucks a lot, but I really like feeling those deep emotions, regardless of if they're bad or good.
I hate feeling any intense emotion.
Why's that?
Oh, that. I was going to say, this seems like this could be bringing them closer together, but that might actually be an issue for him. It's interesting because he talked to Meg and Madison both about, you know, preferring to feel the intense emotions rather than not feeling them, even if they're bad. But he doesn't seem like he's sort of like opened himself to the experience of falling in love with any of these women, and has been kind of like keeping it shallow for the most part. This feels like the deepest conversation he's had with any of these women, which is what was making me think maybe things are going well with him and Madison. But now that she's like, I don't really want to feel emotions, which, like, relatable, not a great way to operate, actually. It turns out if you try really hard to avoid feeling emotions and you've got, like, problems, then this can trigger worse emotions and, like, just a general worse quality of life. I don't think she's handling that maturely yet, and that's unfortunate.
How are you feeling about our connection?
I hate when they ask questions like that. Kind of at all, but especially when they ask it before they've volunteered information about their own feelings, because that, like, what kind of pussy move is that? Your decisions about this should not be contingent on, like, how they feel about the thing. Either you like them or you don't like them. Plus, strategically, it's just a bad move because it feels kind of weird and pressuring and icky. I don't think people enjoy that. Like, they'll feel good about themselves if you tell them that you like them, and if they don't like you, I mean, that's not going to change if you just, like, are weird and cagey about it. So, like, if you ask them if they like you when they don't, you're not going to get a better response than if you just told them that you like them. So why fuck around?
I honestly don't think there's anyone here who makes me feel the way that you make me feel.
Really?
I feel like I want to do like a montage of him just like going back and forth with these two women. This is painful. Oh, this could be a game changer though, because she was not getting this from Alex. That's for damn sure.
I really think feelings have started to develop for you when it comes to me.
Feelings have started to develop for you when it comes to me. Like, what? That is the most passive fucking way to describe being interested in somebody romantically. My God. She should get the ick and just walk out the door.
I just know that, like, the other girl that you have a connection with is very much like it's you or like not.
Does he know that though? Because I feel like that's not, she shouldn't be strategizing about this or whatever, but this is a very, very poor strategy. Like, if he didn't know that he is the only one that this other chick is interested in, this could change his feelings about her positively.
And for her, like, you're it.
Yeah, I did not know that information.
Also, it's really funny that she was talking about how, like, the girls are all blabbing about who they're interested in, and she doesn't really want to do that. But now she's blabbing to him about, like, feels so much worse. Fuck.
And I feel like you would want to know something like that.
That's not your information to give him, though. That's crazy. Jesus Christ, woman. That feels, like, low-key unethical and also bad for... It's, like, bad... Maybe it's not bad for everybody because it might make him realize that, like, oh, I do like Meg. I was just holding back my feelings because I thought that she was like this with everybody or whatever. That's possible. I don't like this at all. I don't like any outcome here I'm not happy with. The outcome I'm least unhappy with is if Meg and Madison get together, because then at least they're, like, containing the damage to each other if it doesn't work out. If they split off into the neat pairs where people don't get heartbroken right out the gate, I feel like it's going to be real bad for both couples.
I don't want you to be afraid of, like, hurting me if that's, like, something that's, like, holding you back.
I do think that's a good thing to say, because that sometimes is something that's holding people back, except that it suggests that you're not actually that invested, which in turn tends to make other people less invested, unless they're like, oh, I can't have this thing, now I want this thing. But if they're, like, a reasonable person, I don't know. There's different ways it could go, but...
You're making other connections, and it sucks to hear that you're getting words of affirmation, but it's, like you said, the name of the game.
No, it's not the name of the game. I feel like none of these people have watched this show before. You do not want to be the people on this show who are in triangles and having weird problems like this. You want to be the people in the show who are just like, I've locked on to the person that I want to marry day one and was like, yeah, this feels like it could work.
You do mean a lot to me.
I've never doubted that.
Interesting. I feel like she's playing it cool, and it's maybe because she's more interested in Alex than she is in Mason, but I feel like this is a big fucking deal. this is the thing that she wanted, I guess he's still not going as far to be like, it's you or the highway. Once, if he can do that, then he's probably got her in the bag. Yeah, maybe it actually is a clever play here to like not really give him anything in response and see how badly he wants it. But I also feel like you're sort of tainting the information by being kind of like, I've got one foot out the door. Yeah, it's like they're always more attached to the person they're talking to in the moment. And if the person they're talking to in the moment is like, I'm out of here if you're not gonna lock me down, basically, then it can pressure people into foolish decisions. So I'm not sure if she wants to contaminate her information this way, but that's what she's choosing to do.
I've never doubted that.
She doesn't even look happy about it.
This is a connection that means so much to me, and I'm not gonna just throw this away.
Yeah, this is a connection. A connection. That's not what you want to hear.
I know it's hard what we're doing, but
okay, I think it's good when people are like, I'm willing to feel all the feelings, you know? It's healthy to feel your feelings and not to like pretend you don't have them and lock them away from yourself and all of that. But I do feel like there's a type of person who is just kind of melodramatic about their lives, and this makes them think that things should be hard. Somehow like a willingness to embrace all of this seems to also be a willingness to tolerate worse situations, like things that make you feel worse because they're okay with feeling worse. I don't know. I always find it frustrating to watch these people because it just seems like they're sort of hurting themselves for no reason, but...
Hunger Games, man. Dog eat dog.
I am enjoying that we're finally at a point where he seems to be the least happy about the situation. God, I really want to watch the next episode, but I'm so tired and my analysis is suffering as a result. So instead, I will see you next time.